Hello and welcome to another installment of Comparative Reasoning. I'm your host, Sidra Kennedy, and today we're talking about how Empire can show us the modern truth about July 4th. And you're probably wondering, how is that possible, So, have you ever seen the TV show Empire? Because I'm about to spoil that for you. I'm going to spoil it. So if you don't want to get spoiled, you might as well just click on away. See, there is a strong compare and contrast. It's a comparison all the way. See, this is about a woman who falls in love with someone of a bad apple. Heart's kind of in the right place, usually in the right place, but his self-desires and needs always put him in the worst situations. So, in order to show love and solidarity, this female's sisters decide to snitch, which is something I'm not against, depending upon. This is one of those depending upons. So they snitch, and instead of her being safe, she goes to prison. And because they did this, she missed out on raising her children. She missed out on being side by side, building a music career. She had gone through lots of emotional trauma in prison, just like anybody else would. She suffered. Oh, she did. And it was a thing that she didn't even do. And she believed that she was covering for her man, because she was showing that ride or die. 17 years she did. So when she get out, 2 kids happy. One kid's like, you're going to earn my respect. So she had to beat it into him. And not many would disagree with that. And the racists would just love it. But then what happens later? What happens later is she finds out that after all this time, at a clutch moment, because people get mad. When they get mad or when they're scared, that truth comes out. It come out. So she finds out that no, it was her sisters, because her sisters the whole time blamed her man for getting her locked up. Just think about that. After everything I done said, everything, I talked about what she's gone through, all that time, her sisters did it, but blamed her man vehemently, with zero apology, with reckless abandon. Blamed her man for getting her locked up and ruining and destroying and desecrating her life, legacy, and outlook on things. Yep. All those years and after she got out. So at that clutch moment, the truth does come out. Now, when you find out the truth, what do you do? What do you do? I mean, you could show anger, you could show rage, you could just show a little clap back, a little get back, but literally, what is the right way to express that somebody has ruined you for the equivalent of a human's developmental years? How do you do that? How? I think that's a real good question, because I would ask you, and I'm curious. Put it down in the comment section. How do you show proper anger? I'll tell you what she did. She was ticked off. She was angry. She left them on the side of the road to walk the rest of the way to a destination that was needed. And then she just got over it. She just, hey, you're my family. I can't go anywhere else. I don't have any other family. So I'm just going to accept what you've done, despite it ruining everything. And lying. And that seems to be what black people are really good at when it comes to being trapped. You gotta just deal with it. You know? And 4th of July, well, in short, that ain't for black people. That won't even for that's not for anybody. That's just for white people. It sucks because we like fireworks, don't we? I mean, I don't even think white people really celebrate 4th of July. I mean, on 4th of July, they shoot fireworks and they're happy. And it's like, ooh, look at this. And they go out to eat and all that, you know. And now we can add, they go and help spread a pandemic. That's what people do, in general, people. 4th of July is supposed to represent the United States independence. Finally separated from Britain. Finally got their own thing. Guerrilla warfare won. The home turf did it. The thing is, black people were getting railroaded before, during, and after that. Slave, slave, slave. That's what happened. So much so that black people, which is a little known history, because people love their history, they love their heritage, right? And you forget black people actually jumped sides from the Union to the Brits. They was doing that. I mean, you got this side where you can get really messed up and humiliated. I mean, literally, you are desecrated to the umpteenth degree while expected to do all the work and being called lazy. Or you can go to the British side where they will simply hate you, pay you, educate you, segregate you, but they aren't going to do some of the nasty and gross things that's been done here. So you go from outright criminal slavery to, you know, it's bad slavery, but it could be better. You know, they called it indentured servitude. So what happens when you get all these years enslaved and all this and sharecropping, redlining, and all this other stuff to black people that's still going on today in its own way, when you got banks that will, you know, give out harsher penalties, and, you know, they'll give you a loan, but the return on that loan is much higher. You know, it's much higher. Black people are gonna pay out. Same with cars. Same with anything you need a loan for. You know, the interest rate is always higher for black people when black people make far less than their white counterparts. And so what do? We continuously throughout the years, it's okay, it's cool, we just deal with it, try to be open and welcoming to those that hurt us. It's what we do because that's all we've got, because this is all we know. We're pigeonholed and trapped in a country. At first we thought, oh, we're trapped in a country that hates us, in a country that's going to really never give us a fair shake. And then we think, you know, well, they want us to go back to Africa. I guess that would definitely be independence, to go back there. Then you find out, no, the evangelicals went over there and made sure that the Africans hate us and see us as the same way as the slave owners and sharecroppers and Jim Crow people did. So, well, you can't go back to a place because now that place hates you. Your own sisters hate you. Call it the motherland. I guess the mother hates you. So we got nowhere to go. We could go to some of the happiest places on earth, but we don't make that kind of money. And now with the pandemic, and since these, you know, these free-spirited white people out there, these racists, I ain't talking about the others, I'm talking about these racists and these apathetic, you know, since they just won't stop being so pro-freedom, and they can't breathe when they wear a mask that can only protect you about 80% anyway, and it keeps you from infecting others, mostly, that's really what it does. Yeah, we're banned. Good old Britain, they're banning us. They don't want us there because we can't stop being stupid. Oh yeah, we got fireworks. We celebrate. Yeah, 4th of July. We kick your ass. That's very good, mate. Stay the fuck out. That's it. That's it. And that's how that has been going on, and it sucks. There are ways to solve this. There are. Because, see, we can't leave unless, there's some very powerful circumstances. You need money. You need a good reputation. Yeah, you need that. But how do you solve this? How do what you gotta do? Well, here's a solution. Here's one. It's kind of radical, but it's all right, I guess. You have to change your mindset. So you got to stop hurting each other. Black on black crime, white on white crime. There's always race on race crime. All right. I mean, people can stop that argument. It's stupid, but seriously, what you need to do is realize they are trapped here with you as much as you are trapped here with them. We all in the United States together. And the whole time they've been training their children and their kinfolk to hate us, while we've been training ours to know and understand that they aren't going to help you. They aren't going to be your friend, but you got to accept them and just pray for them, right? Just pray for them. I mean, they're the ones that taught us, right, how to be that good Christian. See, we haven't gotten our independence. We just have less brutal slavery. And that's the truth. And I'm still sitting here thinking it's still 100 to 400 black people to just a handful of slave owners, and we still aren't fighting back. So anyone out there that talks that talk about, I wish they would, let me tell you, they are. And you know what you're doing? Accepting it. Black Panthers, they had it right. Shot black, buy black. But that was just the tip. There's an iceberg under all of that. And what needs to happen is, you want to know? Put your money where it needs to be. Buy only what you need. But if it's a minority store, whether it's native, you know what, just straight up, if it's non-white and trying to do the same thing that the white counterparts are doing, buy there. And to those companies that would get this business, don't start raising your prices. That's stupid. Don't raise your price because they're starting to sell. Oh man, this is selling off the walls. If I raise the price, I can make a little more money. No, if anything, lower the price so it can get bought faster. You don't need to make 1,000 increase. You need enough to make a little profit, and that's it. You're not trying to retire on one tube of toothpaste. So there's one solution. Another one, before I get out of here, is do your best to support fellow people that's going to open up a store, a shop, or something, begin a hobby, trying to do some sales or something. Support that. Don't demonize it. White people ain't gonna want to buy that. Okay, maybe some black people would. Maybe some Hispanic people would. Maybe some Native Americans would. So long as there's a burned bridge between people, between minorities, then there's no way to build an actual, an honest and true community. We all just got tiny little dwellings, and only if you notice, the majority, which they are the white people in this, only they are the ones without a community. They don't need it. Their bridges are solid, and the traffic is grand, and the money is pure, and the exploitation is quite honest. because they don't hide it and they don't bullshit about it. They exploit. And so you need to come off your hinges and do what you got to do to make it, and make it together. You want to celebrate July 4th the right way? Then you need to actually make a July 4th for you. Because Juneteenth ain't getting it. Juneteenth didn't do it. And we got to find a date for us, right? It can't just be Juneteenth. Yay, let's eat and drink red. No, it can't be July 4th because that won't about us. We need our actual day. A day of actual true celebration. And not one that we have to reclaim. Not one that's full of lies, mendacity, and pain. That's what we need. You know, Black Lives Matter. Yes. Yes, they do. The problem is, it needs to not just be a slogan and not something to get you out in the street and do something silly. It needs to be the way. I ain't talking about black power. I'm talking about Black Lives Mattering to you, to everyone else. And make sure that those black lives include those of a less bronze complexion, those of a more native complexion. Include everyone. I keep these rainbows up for a reason. These hearts, these leaves falling. There's more than one color in this country. And it's time for the racist, colorless to stop being in charge and get in their way. Fight it. Help each other. Build each other. Love each other. It's doable. You just only have to do it. This has been Cedric Kennedy for Comparative Reasoning. Thank you for listening.